Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 15 of the Leetcode Day Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about today's farm. Yeah, today, I don't know. I mean, today's a Tuesday, or Wednesday for you, but I'm doing this on a Tuesday evening here in New York City. And those of you who's been following my training, Tuesdays are my toughest day of the week. It is the sixth day of like the sixth straight day of running, and it is a strength training day, meaning that I'm running it at faster than my target pace, and for 11 miles basically altogether. So I'm really, just tired right now. So I'm gonna keep the intro a little bit short today. But what I want to say is, I think one question that I get a lot, and I've said this before, but sometimes it's worth reminding anyway, right? One of the most common questions I get is, how do you find motivation to do this, right? How do you keep going, day after day or whatever the streak is? I don't even know where the streak is, but it doesn't even matter, right? Because I don't really do it for the streak per se. But one thing I would say is that motivation does come and go, right? I mean, you know it because that's why you're asking the question. Maybe not you, obviously, but we all have been in those places where we ask that question, right? But you just have to figure out a way to make it not about motivation and make it about discipline, right? What I mean by that is, I don't know. Do you feel like you need to be motivated to brush your teeth? Do you feel like you need to be motivated to go get lunch? Maybe look, we all have good days and maybe we have bad days where, I don't know, maybe you're just not hungry or not wanting to get out of bed or I don't know, whatever. But in general, right, that's where, you can get into that kind of routine in which you don't really question it, right? You just do it. And for me, doing Leetcode, for example, and running, really the running, I'm not gonna lie, I spent like 4 hours, or maybe not 4 hours, 4 is a little long, but a couple of hours on the couch just like knowing that I have to get this run in. But I'm just so tired mentally, so burned out mentally almost, right? And that burned out, as I was saying yesterday or the day before, watch that video if you want to see the logic in that, is intentional because that is the point of working out, right? And then you deload so that your body kind of adapts to those changes and get better. But yeah, when I do Leetcode every day, I don't. It's never. I don't even like. It's not a question of motivation because I do not ask myself, do I want to do Leetcode today? I just do it, right? Maybe there's a question of when, and maybe I should do it earlier, maybe I should do it later, whatever. Okay, but that's my point, right? I know that cannot be for everyone for everything, right? And for me, some part of the reason is because I find it fun and interesting. It's like I describe it as doing crossword puzzle. In terms of running the marathon, it is just my goal, right? And when you have a goal, you just put it out there. I might hit my goal, I might not hit my goal, but I know that I've done everything I could, right? That's basically all I'm asking for myself. No time for regrets later. No question about whether I could have done more. I've already done everything mostly, right? You could say I could do more, but then there's like an injury risk, etc. There's some trade-offs. But my point is that that's how I don't know that there's any motivation. And honestly, it's kind of weird. I talked about this a couple of months, maybe a month ago or so. In that this marathon, it's kind of weird because it means nothing to me, to be frank. Maybe not nothing, but it means very little to me in terms of things I accomplish. I talk about it because I want to, I know that people are on this tough journey doing Leetcode, and this is something that's tough for me. But I'm not training to get an interview or whatever, right? And I'm not training to be a pro athlete. I'm not even training to be like a YouTube influencer or running anyway, right? So, but it is about what you want, what you expect from yourself, and what you're willing to put in so that you are who you want to be. And Failures, I have plenty of. Some may feel, some hurt more than others, but I don't regret anything that I've given all of myself to. All the regrets I have are from things that I wish I could have given a little bit more, So that's it. Applies to pretty much anything you want to apply it to, but that's my kind of speech for today. So let's take a look at today's problem. We have 3350 adjacent increasing subarray detection 2. All right. Also, if you like that speech, hit the like button. Leave a comment. If it's inspiring, if you find that it's bull. Either way, leave a comment so I know you're watching or listening. Because I don't know. I mean, I just want to know. All right. 3350 adjacent increasing subarray detection. All right, so you have an array of nums n. Your task is to find the maximum value, of k, for which there exists two. I'm getting hiccups. Hopefully not too much, because I mean it's not that bad. But when you're doing, is this the same thing as yesterday, except for it was part 1 or something? It is. Is it the same problem? Like I know that maybe the constraint change, obviously. But I'm just curious whether I'm just looking at yesterday's and seeing. I see. So basically, it's not the same problem, but optimized. It is actually kind of a different problem but similar construction, I suppose, where you have a given or you're not given a k, and you're trying to find a k in which the results are maximal, right? Okay. I mean, sounds reasonable, I suppose. Okay. Yeah. I think there are a couple of things that we could learn from yesterday, right? I mean, I'm going to bring up my thing from yesterday. Even though if you recall from that video, I made a lot of silly mistakes. And also thank you for people leaving in comments telling me it's okay. I definitely appreciate it. I'm still kind of, it just, I don't know. It was silly. That's all. I mean, I can get it. But yeah, but I don't want to analyze it again, yesterday's problem, even though I got some issues. So definitely, if you haven't watched yesterday's problem or if you haven't done it, please solve it or watch the video real quick, maybe on 2x if you really want to, just to kind of go over this concept. What we did yesterday, and I know that n is 100, but we did reduce it to an O of n algorithm. I mean, of course, like I said, you could do an n square algorithm and that'll be fine, but we reduced it to O of n, right? And let's see. And this n for this problem is 2 times 10 to the 5th, which is too big for n squared anyway. So you need the idea of this O of n algorithm. And my first thought would be knowing what I knew yesterday. So it's a little bit of, I don't know if you could call it like cheating per se, right? In a sense that, I mean, because they probably put on the same contest so that, like, if you were doing it in a contest, you would do it at the same time. So it's a little bit awkward that way. But in any case, my point that I want to point out is that this streak algorithm that we had yesterday, we want to use it again. Or that's my initial thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, and also it goes up to negative 10 to the 9th, in case you're wondering. So we have to update the lab. But in any case, yeah. So we can maybe just copy and paste this real quick. Last, we wanted to set to negative infinity, and infinity will just make it to a big number, right? Bigger than the range that we're given. Okay, so then now what does it mean, right? I mean, it's going to be the same thing, right? We have this idea, right? Let me copy and paste again, because maybe I'm lazy. And that's why I said you should probably know yesterday's problem. But the idea is that yesterday, right, obviously it doesn't run because it's not the same problem. But that we have this k, and then we have these things, right? There's these 2 rows that we figured out from yesterday, which is from the I put in the comment, I talked about it, but basically you have either one long streak, or you have the end of one streak, and then the beginning of a second one, right? So from that, you could really just backwards figure out how to detect those both cases, and then just get the max. That's about as long as idea, right? So then now, maybe I didn't need to copy paste this. Then now, yeah, maybe we could just even put it here, right? So then now we test for one long streak idea, right? Ooh, what did I click on? Did I submit it by accident? There must be a shortcut that I clicked on by accident, but it was not intentional. That's such an unnecessary shortcut, because why would I try to save 0.5 seconds of me clicking on it? Like, doesn't, like, I don't know. Especially on a contest where you may risk 5 minutes of penalty, that you don't really save time. I mean, just think 0.5 seconds faster and you'll make that time. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So that's for the one long streak idea, right? And the reason why I put it here is because we have to count, and the count is the longest of the count is the current streak, right? I mean, you could actually handle it a little bit different too. I mean, we could test for it here, but you could also just write best is equal to max of count, or max of streaks. So the longest streak divided by 2, right? I don't know why it's not. Okay, there we go. And hopefully this makes sense, right? It's basically, for example, you have a streak of 10. You can look back to here. You have a streak of 10. That means that you have a streak of 5 and then another 5. So, okay. So this is the one long streak idea, right? And then the other is end of a streak and then the beginning of another, right? Or something, I don't know. I mean, this one is less catchy of a name, not gonna lie, right? But yeah, but the idea here is gonna be the same, and maybe we could do it here as well, but it's fine, right? So that means that for I in range of length of streaks, right? Then now we want to say, so we're given streaks of I, right? And the way that you may play around these is just use an actual example. For example, maybe you have something like 5, 6, 7, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then now you want to say, let's just think this. This is the last thing that we're looking at. Then now, given this, we want to look at streaks of I minus this or something, right? Maybe it's off by 1, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do. Basically, given that this is 5, we want to look 5 space back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's right. 5 space back, and then check if that's also bigger than, well, just whatever, right? So then now, yeah, that's basically the idea. There are a couple of optimizations you can do. For example, if streaks of I is less than best, then we don't even have to do it, right? Because even if it's equal to, really, because it's not going to beat the streak even if it's correct, so we can just skip, right? So we can do that. We can also skip if I minus streaks is less than 0. This one is a little bit more obvious, right? If you go off the screen or off the array, then obviously there's no things. Otherwise, then now you have, so if this is greater than or equal to streaks of I, then streaks of I is a good candidate for a best, and that's basically it. Hopefully, if I missed a case, then it is what it is. But yeah, okay, looks okay for these two cases. Yeah, okay, let's YOLO submit. I'm a little bit lazy today. I just ran 11 miles. So, yeah, okay. Yay! No silly mistake this time, unlike yesterday. So, yeah. But the idea here is basically working on, we talked about kind of the idea behind this yesterday, and I don't want to repeat it because I'm really tired. But, so you check out that video, and then it's just about kind of almost, would you call it reverse engineering or just reversing the function maybe? I don't know. But hopefully this idea makes sense. So one long streak, because we broke it down to 2 cases really, right? And then for both two cases, we just kind of reverse engineer the answer. One is the one long streak, which is what it sounds like. We already kind of went over a little bit. And then this one, yeah, just, see, how these things kind of match up, right? And that's it. What was the complexity? Well, we have 2 linear loops, so that's going to be linear time. And we have a linear space thing, and that'll be good enough for me. Yeah. Linear time, linear space, and that's it. that's what I have for this one. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye.